is Killshot 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, episode number 6. This is recap and reactions. We are doing this live tonight, everybody. So we're going to start out, first of all, by saying that all the predictions last week did not come true. But one prediction definitely did come true, and that is there is zero doubt in my mind that we're going episode 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're just going to tie in the bigger series. So really excited to talk about tonight's episode. So got to ask you guys, leave it in chat right now. I want to know what the scores are to tonight's episode from a 1 to a 10. I've got my score in my mind right now, and I'm not going to be influenced by all of yours. All right? Not going to be influenced by all of yours. We got Busy Bee with 8.9. We got Dave with a 6, 8.5, 10, 7.5. Marcia Cooper with an 8, 9, 9. So wait a minute. You guys are you guys are telling me the speech and lovemaking scene of Walking Dead scored higher to y'all than tonight's? Come on now. Come on. Let me see those scores. 8.1 felt rushed. Cassandra says a 7, 9.7, 10, 9.5, 8, 8s. Got a lot of 8s across the board. All right. Okay, looks like it's going to be a tough crowd tonight. I'm coming in at a 9.1. I'm not going to give it a 10, but I am going to, I don't disagree with that. I agree with the whole rushing. It did feel rushed, but that does not mean that I'm not coming in with a big score tonight. I'll give you all the reasons why. And, you know, maybe we can influence a few people tonight. There's a bigger picture at work here, okay? 6 episodes, and all of the CRM is not done. There's still a lot of mystery around the city and these council members and how they allowed the CRM to sort of grow in popularity. And I'm going to tell you guys, it's not without, there's always problems at the top. So here it is. Before we get into it, I'm going to give you my 999 bold prediction. Give me triple nines right now. I'm going to start out, give you a bold prediction right from the start, and why I had no problem with it being rushed a little bit. All right. So here's what we didn't see tonight. And we still got the Daryl Dixon show going and a whole lot of bad people in the Daryl Dixon episode. The people at the top have just voted to prevent an anarchy. They know that they just lost their military command. There's more at the top than we've seen, and there's more at the top than we know. So, you know, allowing the scene at the end for Rick to fly back and see his family and those things, that's just to get us all to let our guard down. That's just so we get the happy reunion. It's so we just get Rick and Michonne back with their community. Because if this was even remotely the end of The Walking Dead, we would have seen Eugene and Aaron. We'd have seen everybody, but we didn't. We only saw that small group, and now they're kind of getting back into the flow. So my question is, you know, and again, this is why I don't have a problem with it feeling rushed. What would you have preferred to happen to not have it so rushed? Another episode, maybe? A little bit more suspense? Not blowing the place up at the end? I think the fact that they blew it up and got away tells us really kind of all we need to know. Now, I know we wanted to kind of end the way I predicted last week. I was not even close. I thought, you know, the helicopters would be flying and they wouldn't get there in time. Another episode, a little bit more suspense. Cliffhanger. Well, here's why. You can't just keep doing cliffhangers in the spinoffs if eventually you're going to bring them back together. There were a couple cliffhangers, though. Like Portland. How do we know that the group in Portland isn't going to be just as corrupt as the group that we just saw in Pennsylvania. So we don't. And really, right next door to the city. I agree. I am too. Certainly I think we could pick it apart a little bit, say we should have gotten a little bit more, should have been 8 episodes. That's fair. It's fair. But the one thing I did like, here's the problem, okay? Remember last week, one of the big topics that I talked about was that we would have a little bit of regression, that Rick and Michonne have gotten too powerful and they need to kind of be taken down a notch. You guys remember that, right? Well, that didn't happen. They were unstoppable. So the theme tonight, the theme this season, was that Rick and Michonne together are unstoppable. And I'm good with that. I'm good with being wrong on that regard because I don't think they're always going to be. So, how many people had a problem with Bill dying? Put it in chat right now. If you had a problem with Bill dying, let me hear it. Let me see it right now. Because Harold did, NBA did, so a few people did. No, see, Amy, I disagree. I disagree 100% with they wasted the Beal character. I think Beal served his purpose. What you have to understand here is Bill was sabotaging. Bill was a military commander that had misled the people making the decisions. Someone had to build Bill up and let him rise to power. And what they taught us tonight was that Bill is not going to be the story. Bill was in charge of something that had they were going to declare martial law. So they're not even the bad guys. They're not even the top bad guys. Bill was empowered. So now that he's gone, believe me, there are other powerful entities out there that allowed Bill to get to that level. And that's kind of what Rick and Michonne are going to have to fight against. I disagree. I disagree 100%. I don't think this is the end of the Rick and Michonne story. And that it ended tonight. I think that you will see the revitalization of some of the other characters, and you'll see where the true power is going to be. There's no chance that they lived happily ever after tonight and that we won't see them again. It was a great 6 episodes. They have driven people back to The Walking Dead. So they ain't letting them go. So here's a couple things I want you guys to keep in mind. All right, let me ask this question because you guys are pretty fired up. Which stories have we yet to have answered in The Walking Dead? I want to call on a few of you guys. Put in chat right now. Westwood thinks that the flashbacks made it a little dicey. I feel like the flashbacks for a different reason. I feel like they were pushing. They had about half an episode and they had to add filler to it to get to the end of this episode. Father G. Okay, so let me ask you guys this question. the council voted to let that the military operation was corrupt and that people are now free to have their freedoms back and go around the country again. All right? Am I the only person that wants to know who those people are that voted? Who those people are that turned their they knew what Beal was doing? Are you kidding me? You don't think those people knew the helicopters were flying every day and they had all those high-powered weapons, and you're talking to your brother in Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh's no longer on the map? Come on, guys. Come on. We're better than that. We are better than that. We know that there's other people making the decisions. Who are those people? And now they got egg on their face because they got caught. They had to revamp. They're going to have anarchy. They're going to have martial law. So what they had to do was they had to say, hey, we didn't have any part of this. You can go as you please. We put those people there to protect people. So now they got to back away from it. But there's more to that. Omaha has some corruption. So what we found out is Beal and his operation is basically saving the kids and killing all the adults. If you build a sophisticated operation like they have that can communicate, Omaha up in smoke, but Portland's not. So you still got Portland out there. The military part of Philly is gone. So Beal was basically going to take everybody from Pennsylvania. They already got rid of Omaha, get rid of Portland, then storm into the city. And declare martial law. And nobody knew about it. So Beal had to go. But I think there's a lot that Rick can still do. Where's Carol? Where's Daryl? What's going on in the rest of the world? All right, so we're going to turn it around a little bit. I need everybody to put your thinking caps on. There is a Rick and Michonne, The Ones Who Live Season 2. What's the storyline? Type it in chat right now. Tell me what the storyline is. We didn't get a cliffhanger, right? We kind of got that happy ending that people want. CRM coming back. Finding the children. CRM higher-ups come after them. I don't think we're going to have... Deidre, I don't think we're going to have a whole season on Michonne's next pregnancy as much as I would not like to watch that, and I wouldn't. I mean, like a real Walking Dead storyline. No, everybody that does videos and talks about The Walking Dead, the story or the narrative is going to be, you can already see the headlines, right? Did we see the last of Rick and Michonne? Is it over? That's what's going to be all over the place. So again, it's just kind of, it's getting that bar lowered a little bit. So y'all know what happens in July? Somebody tell me what happens in July. Comic-Con. What do y'all think is going to happen at Comic-Con? Come on. You don't think there's going to be Rick and Michonne all over the place at Comic-Con in July? We're in March. You don't think people are going to buy their tickets? They're going to mosey on in there, and then a trailer is going to drop, and it's going to be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, they're back, they're back. Somebody's chasing Rick and Michonne. They made it. They're back for season 2. Y'all been doing this for far too long. All right, Amy, I'm going to strongly disagree. You kind of been on that theme for about 10 minutes now. I don't agree. I don't think Andy came back for 6 episodes. Andy could have stayed gone. Come back, do 6 episodes, hug RJ. Walking Dead universe is okay with it. I'm going to give that a big no fucking way. It ain't going to happen. There's too much hype, too much buzz around The Walking Dead to kill it after 6 episodes. There has not been this much excitement around The Walking Dead in 4 years. To end it with a rushed episode? No. Come on. This is where we do our work. This is where we funnel it down. This is where we look for the loose ends. I just don't think that Beal and Thorne and Jadis were the authorities on everything. I think there's more involved. And I don't think that Rick is safe. I do agree it was rushed. I said that at the beginning, LF. But I don't think it was rushed to get it over with. I think it was rushed to get to what's next. That was my point. I think they probably wrote the content. For me, what it looked like they wrote the content for about 5.5 episodes. Because I know Westwood said earlier, or I think it was Westwood, somebody said that there were flashbacks. And I thought the flashbacks were even more filler. So let's play out a different narrative here, okay? One more episode. Michonne and Rick get locked up. They come back. They get locked up. They break out. Then they kill Bill. I mean, Kill Bill. Sounded like Kill Bill instead of Kill Beal. Anyway, you get it. But, I mean, what more could you have done if you were going to get to this point? And I think that makes a stronger case. If this was going to be the finale and they walk out, okay. I'm going to give you more proof. Agree with me or disagree with me, okay? How many people think if this was the final Rick and Michonne episode that we would have had every character in the show greeting them when the helicopter landed? Y'all think this was a retirement party? Come on, people. This was not an ending. This was not a retirement party. You don't think you could have gotten Ross and Seth and everybody there? That helicopter would have landed and Eugene had been crying and everybody would have been there. Come on. Harold Evans said it right. Read what Harold Evans just wrote. We are just getting started. This was to whet the appetite. Now I'm going to give you reason number 2 that tonight's episode seemed rushed. I need you guys to answer this question. So help me out with this one. Answer my question, please, instead of each other's. Just one question. What do you think would have happened if this season would have bombed and Rotten Tomatoes gave it low scores and we didn't care about it and we did not watch this season? What do you think would have happened? They could have ended it. They could have stopped it. That to me is why it felt rushed. Look, Walking Dead's ratings have been tanking. Fear of the Walking Dead tanked. The World Beyond like tanked. So when the ratings started to go up, to me they left it, I won't say they left it open-ended, but I think they did rush it a little bit. And how many times, okay, how many people watched every season of The Walking Dead? Raise your hand. Give me a 999 if you've seen every season of The Walking Dead. Haven't we seen seasons end like this before? Like almost every season ended like this. We don't get cliffhangers in The Walking Dead. We get uniformity and we get peace and we get, yeah, it's really cool. And then you know what? We start it up and we get a new story. And to me, it felt like they got rid of some of the problems so they could start to develop the next part of the story. I am more convinced after watching tonight that there's a bigger story to The Walking Dead, a new story to The Walking Dead, not the same old stuff in The Walking Dead. So I felt like they cleaned some stuff up so we can get back to telling a different story and doing it well. Westwood is hoping for a better ending than randomly placed circus tent full of missiles exploding is all. No problem with that. No problem with that the ending might not have been what we expected. But it was one of two things. So if they didn't blow up all those explosives were going to be loaded up. All right, where were those explosives going? They're all going to Portland, right? So I don't think that it was terrible because I thought they did a couple things. All right? And here, let me ask you guys this question. And I can tell some of you guys are frustrated by it, which shows me it's pretty good writing. How many people had Rick Grimes would stab Beal with his own sword on their 2024 bingo card for tonight? Almost nobody. Nobody saw that coming. So we can complain about it and say, well, it was rushed, but it was also unpredictable. It showed, one of the best parts I thought of tonight's episode is Rick with the knife, okay? Rick has the knife in his hand, and him and Beal are talking, and Beal says, swear on the sword. Now, why did he ask Rick to swear on the sword at that moment? It was so cleverly written. I mean, really good. Because he knew Rick had one hand. He had Rick take off the fake arm, and Rick had one hand under the table. And if Rick would have put his hand up there, he knew that Rick was all in. But Rick had his hand under there, and it was either going to be, and they made eye contact, and it was like, oh no. And at that moment, you know something's going to go down. But even still, I thought, okay, Rick's going to throw him out the window, and we're going to get one of this Walking Dead, and Beal's going to limp away. You guys remember that fight between Rick and Negan, where he was chasing him and got rid of Lucille, and they were in the building, and they kept fighting, and they didn't stop fighting. And you're like, somebody's got to die. Like, you can't fight that much. Somebody's got to die. So, in my mind, when Rick throws that at Beal, I'm thinking, all right, he's going to throw him out the window, and he's going to walk away dumb, and we're going to see Beal 2 episodes from now, next season. What happened to Beal? Why didn't he kill him? Right? I was very pleased. This season, Rick and Michonne killed people. They didn't halfway kill him. They killed him dead. I mean, Jadis, dead. That whoever that chick was that came in Jadis's room, Michonne didn't knock her out. She strangled her. Dead. Beal, dead. The dude in the elevator, dead. I mean, come on. Thorne, dead. They didn't play around. We didn't get half-dead people. The whole theme to this season was that Rick and Michonne are great together. So that to me is not a roof. That's a foundation. So we start the foundation with this. Now, what's the story to The Walking Dead? Leave it in chat right now. I'm going to tell you what the next 2 seasons of The Walking Dead are going to be. Because they told us. Beal told us. All right, here's a quote. All right, one more time. Give me triple nines. I got to help you guys. I agree with some of this, but I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. One more time. Master prediction coming right now. How many years do we have left, people? How many years? $14 years civilization can survive. So this is the narrative. This is the new Walking Dead. So when we first started watching The Walking Dead, we didn't know. It was danger around every corner. It was running from a zombie. Now, we're going in reverse order. We've got 14 years to fix this. We got 14 years to decide, do we want to kill other communities, or do we want to bring other communities together to get to a cure? I think that can get us 3 or 4 seasons. Would you guys agree with that? Would you guys agree that if tonight is the foundation, and we got to find out what's going on with Daryl and all these spies that Beal said they have, and these communities, and that all civilization could possibly die, that now we got a real timetable. So we're the ones who live. I mean, Rick wants to see his son grow up. They want to see the world get back to normal. We are promised with The Walking Dead. We are promised one divine right. Everybody in here, one divine right. And that is kill everybody through sickness and disease, or let us beat the sickness and disease. Not Rick gets to hug his kids and we'll never see him again because the show just ended tonight. No, no, no. That's not the way it's going to go down. We ain't going to let it go down. We are going to see this thing through. You're going to kill everybody, or you're going to kill the walkers, and we're going to beat it. It's option A or option B. Option C is not, I'm never going to watch The Walking Dead again because it was a stupid ending. No. Not allowed. Not going to happen. So we're going to dispel all of that junk right now and say, Comic-Con, bold prediction, Comic-Con will tell us that there is more to the Walking Dead universe, that what we talked about tonight, this is the beginning of the next 14 years. It is 14 years until that. So here's another story. Beal was basically telling us everything that we need to know, right? Beal was telling us that, I mean, I think he set the plot. He set the story for the next couple seasons. He said, look, it's like a petri dish out there, and there's all these diseases, things we don't even know yet. Here's the other thing. Y'all know all those badass walkers that we've seen with Daryl? All the experiments that have been going on? We haven't seen all of that yet. We got to see, like, all the new types of walkers. We got to see, like, walkers that can run faster and do backflips and shoot people. Walkers that can survive. I mean, there's so many things that they can do to get back to the context. So what I think is going to happen is, I think it's 14 years, and we got a battle between humanity and the walkers again, where they get better and stronger. Ninjas, absolutely. Samurai walkers, whatever the case may be, the walkers could be evolving. The de-evolution is the new evolution. Are the walkers, I'm going to go back and watch. I only watched it one time. So if you guys have seen it more than once, that's cool. But I'm going off of what we saw tonight. Is it seemed like everything that Beal said was talking about the future of The Walking Dead. Petri dishes, 14 years. They're going to become something we've never seen before. We're going to be faced with things that we've never seen. And the only way that we can survive is to steal everybody's stuff and kill everybody else and then raise the kids. So that is not working. So now what we have to do is we got to figure out what the next story is going to be. And I would say it starts with the council in Philadelphia. I think that council in Philadelphia is going to get more creepy, and they know things. You know, kind of like the Marvel universe. Like how, you know, it's like in the Marvel universe, don't they always have like a boss? And then when that boss is dead, you find out like, well, there was somebody stronger they were reporting to. And then when they're gone, it's like there's somebody else that's even more supreme being, right? They like do all these different things. There's always somebody that's higher up. This was just a military community. This was just the group that protected the city. All right. I told you guys I was going to be fired up tonight. I came in to a bunch of low scores, and it ripped my soul out because I felt so much old school Walking Dead this season. I felt like the season was so good that maybe we were a little tougher than normal. So let me ask you guys this question, okay? If you had to evaluate the whole season from a 1 to a 10, and your willingness to be there for a season 2, we put it on the line this season. So give me your score right now from a 1 to a 10, this season in its totality. Everything that you saw, every single episode. So we got some good scores. I mean, this to me shows me that the people have spoken. The writers know this. They know that this franchise with Rick and Michonne is unstoppable. They are not going to give us, they're not going to bring in Rick and Michonne and tease us a little bit and then give us Madison or, you know, you get it. They got us sucked back into the show to make sure that we are along for the ride, that we are going to see this thing through. And I would be willing to bet. I would say I'm not a betting person, but I kind of am. How many people think that when they did contract negotiations, they actually did a shorter season so they can do other things and spend time with their family? I think they lured them in with the 6-episode deal. Instead of filming, they used to film for like 4 or 5 months in hot Atlanta, Georgia in the summertime, and away from their kids and away from their families. So I feel like these little micro seasons are negotiations that they go in and say, look, we got to have you back. How much money do you want? What's your filming schedule? Can we do these little 6, episode seasons and then take a few months off and then do another one? So you're not just stuck doing this. So when that happens, you got the best writers. The best writers are on this show. I think Andy was doing Broadway? He was doing something. It wasn't quite dinner theater. It was like a step up from dinner theater. Fun chat tonight. Fun chat. I'm having a blast with you guys. Man, I don't think you guys. This is kind of like a old Kills rant, isn't it? Does this feel like one of my old rants, but like in a good way? I don't know. I don't know if I've had this much passion about The Walking Dead in a long time. So we must be back. AMC's made. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Look, you see my mods right there. Love it. You got Kel saying, I'm ready for more Walking Dead. Where will they go from here? But along for the ride. I know. I we've had some really um well, one, we've had some good predictions, and then we've also had some very emotional moments. And and here, with tonight's episode, I think here is the difficulty though. Again, I didn't have a huge problem with it necessarily being rushed, but we went from killing Beal to killing Thorne to 5 minutes later, a nice emotional scene where, you're the brave man. He's like, you can call me dad. I mean, all right. How many people got a little choked up, a little teary eyed when he said, you can call me dad? Right? You got some people that cried. But if it was the end of The Walking Dead, y'all know what would have happened. RJ would have been like, but you're the brave man. Well, you can call me dad. Eugene would have walked out of the woods and been like, well, who's your daddy? Or something like that. I mean, Eugene would have been like, there would have been a Eugenism out of the woodwork if it would have been the end. Oh, I don't know, man. I'm gonna tell you, Eric, that's $1 million question. How does this all tie in timeline wise? What I'm gonna say, and again, I'll have to do some more research here. To the best of my knowledge, we're ahead of New York with Negan and Maggie by a couple of years, maybe. I think we are in line with Daryl and Rick, or close to being in line with that, close enough that it probably doesn't matter. So I'm going to say Daryl and this show are current. Negan and Maggie are a little bit behind. But y'all know we're going to get some of those Marvel type teasers where Negan and Maggie are going to survive. And then we'll see. All right, I do have to ask this question, though. And we may be wrong, okay? You guys can help me if we're wrong. Could be nothing. Could just be going down the rabbit hole, pun fully intended there. Was the rabbit that was in the middle of the floor nothing except preparing us for the Michonne video? Or was that actually important to a community? Or was it just to kind of get us thinking about kids? Or was that a Easter egg on Easter of maybe one of those kids, or even the kid that was following Negan around. It felt important to me. It made me think more of the girl that wouldn't talk in the Maggie and Negan episode. That had a stuffed animal. Now, tomorrow there'll be videos all over the internet just talking about that rabbit. But I do, like, Maggie had to give her the stuffed animal, and then, she finally talked. But it did feel like that. I only saw it once, so I'm kind of going off of memory. But or I just think the writers are too smart. I don't think it was just to get Michonne to go watch the video and then cry when she started seeing the pictures of the kids. It felt very dystopian, takeover, hostile, martial law. Watch the videos, get everybody to fall in line, take over the world. And then we're going after all the small communities. It was amping up very, very quickly. All right, I got one other important question for you. After episode 2, didn't it feel like no matter what we thought about Rick, there was no way that Rick was taking down the CRM? No way, right? It felt completely hopeless. Like, if you were going to do a season 2 or a season 3, there's no way that Rick's ever going to be able to take these guys out. All right. But after 3 episodes of Rick and Michonne killing everybody in their path, kind of feels like if they got some of the old crew together, maybe they stand a fighting chance again. That maybe Rick can rally some people up and be that leader that they didn't have the unity with the three areas. But didn't it kind of feel like after tonight that maybe it's possible that this group is not weak anymore? How many seasons have we seen where, think about this for a second. When's the last time we saw Rick and Michonne actually strong? Prior to season 7, prior to Negan, right? When's the last time we saw before Negan? I agree, Ray. No doubt. It was, so we saw Negan beat him down, and we saw the bridge, or we saw Alpha, then we saw the bridge. It's like they're just weak and weak and weak. And I just thought this season was such a shift of let the heroes be the heroes again. All right. We're having fun tonight. We got cool stuff to talk about, but I got to do it again. I got it. While we've been sitting here talking, I've got the storyline. Just popped in my head. I know the future of The Walking Dead. It is a perfect plot. I'm going to give it to you guys. But we got to have everybody. Everybody light up the screen. I got it right now. I don't think anybody's going to disagree. 999s. Let's do this one more time. Master prediction coming up right now. All right. Here we go. We talked about, and I don't know what we're going to call them. I think we should already, let's give them a name, right? The bad guys that we have not seen yet, we're going to call them the council. You know, they say like the council voted. We're going to call them the council. So AMC, if you guys want to use that, we will give you permission to call the next group of bad guys the council. All right. What, after what just went down, there's going to be an investigation. What would the council be afraid of? Leave it in chat right now. Because you guys already know. You guys already know the direction of my plot. By whom? That too. Tents full of explosives is a great answer. No. There's one person that did what nobody else has been able to do. No, not even anarchy, not even people. There was one person that was able to do what nobody else could do. So they have to be afraid of Rick Grimes, don't they? Now, if they're afraid of Rick Grimes, don't you think that he's a threat? Don't you think it might be time to end the threat? Because he might be giving people too much hope. So now, Rick just became the target. So they want to kill Rick. We don't even know who they are yet, but they want to kill Rick. But what Rick can start to, exactly, Rick needs to lead them, but that might be where the episode has to go, Dave. Is it did not feel like Rick had the resources to fight back. Now, to me, it feels like it's a little more even. Like Rick could build up a group, and then you got what's left of the CRM or whoever they're going to be at this point going forward. But now it feels like we might have two different armies sort of forming. Like some Game of Thrones type of stuff. I mean, just yesterday, it was like thousands of them against Rick. Now, Rick's starting to grow in power. Word's going to get out. Word gets out, he becomes a threat. So, I think there's your storyline right there. Or, I think that the people in the council have some ties to some of those people over in France. And in some of those people in France. So, the CRM is not, I don't think they're just Philadelphia, Omaha, and Portland. Scratch the Omaha. They're worldwide. So if they're worldwide, and the Daryl Dixon episode is pretty good, they start tying these two things together, then Rick's in over his head. So here's the other thing. I mean, I'm so, like, what really, really has me curious is who did Beal report to? Who gave Beal so much power? Who got him all those resources? This guy was in the National Guard, okay? Who built him up? And you don't think they knew what Beal was doing? I mean, the people that empowered him, while they're out getting food and bringing food back and resources, they know there's a corruption there. So if you think of like those 3 points, I think you got these council members all across the world. So we answered the question that Jadis is a spy. But how many spies are out there? Are there more? Could that be a storyline? A lot of stuff to think about. You know what? This is not an ending. I think now we're going to have some fun. Because I love to talk about The Walking Dead after we see a show. But you know what I really, really love to do? I love to talk about The Walking Dead and do bold predictions. That is where I think we are in our element. So if you guys thought tonight that we were going to end our streams and not get together and talk about it, you're wrong. Because now we don't get to see the episode a week early. We get to get together and talk about where we think the direction is going to go from here. So Daryl Dixon's going to be back during the summer. The funny thing with that is we'll get Daryl Dixon episodes and then we'll get Comic-Con. So I think there's going to be something big that goes down. All right, so I'm going to ask you guys, while we got everybody here, and I'll get another score. We're going to get 2 different answers, but I got to ask anyway. What works better for y'all? Thursday nights or Sunday nights? To talk about The Walking Dead. Thursday nights or Sunday nights? What works better for y'all? All right. You know, and Donnie T, we might do some. If we do, we'll wing it. Okay? All right, Sunday nights it is. And if there's like some breaking things that we got to get together and talk about, I may just do a stream. You guys can always watch the playback Sunday whenever we do it. If there's a hot topic that we really, really need to cover, we'll do it on Thursday. Otherwise, we're going to do our Sunday streams. We're going to get together and really start to break this thing down. I do think that the writers, Matt Negretti especially, I think these writers are at a whole different level. I think they're planting these seeds to get the old school fans back to The Walking Dead, getting us talking about it, excited about it. And I think it's working. Because we've been here for an hour already talking about tonight's episode, the future, and a lot of time tonight we've been spending talking about what could be next. And I liked Daryl Dixon's show. I didn't love it. I liked it. I loved this season. I loved it. But because I love this season so much, I'm going to try to love the Daryl Dixon show. Because I'm going to try to get into it a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And see how they're going to tie all this back together. The Book of Carol. All right. We're a little bit over an hour. So if you guys do me a favor, give me about 30 seconds because I want to cover something. A lot of you guys signed up for our portal. Before we do that, give me tonight's episode again. Maybe I changed your mind. Maybe I didn't, but we try to. From a 1 to a 10. Now that we've talked about it a little bit, did your score change a little bit? We all been hanging out. Tonight's episode only. Leave it in chat. All right, some of you guys signed up. I saw Maggie B, Westwood Chronic. I saw Jesus. Several of you guys did sign up on our portal. I want to thank you guys. There's more that we're going to be able to do on the portal. Calendars, schedules, our actual game. We will be sending some of you guys out just a quick email saying, Kel will be sending that. You guys see Kel right there. It'll basically be an introduction and say, hey, if you don't know what to do, log in. Here's a guide, a navigation. It's going to continue to grow. We got a fishing game up there now. We had a fishing tournament the other night. You guys, we didn't do it as a video. We actually did it as a messenger call. So we had people on a messenger call, and we were all fishing to see who would win. So that was never a live stream. We are going to do something Tuesday night, and we're going to bring back our trivia circuit. So we teased this a little bit a couple months ago. So if you signed up for playdeadlive.com, then you can qualify for our trivia circuit. Tuesday night will be Walking Dead trivia. All right, so that's going to be the first one. I wanted it to be Walking Dead trivia. It takes about 30, 40 minutes, so it's not a huge thing, but you can play live. It recognizes your scores, your questions, your answers, and then we'll keep your score, and then we'll have the next week. We'll do it again. And it's like a 6-week competition. And at the end of it, we give away prizes. And we also have on our portal what's called the Max Awards Wall of Fame. And whoever wins the championship, we put your name up there, and we just kind of, we keep score on everything. We have different PvP events, fishing tournaments, and we're continue to build a retro arcade, old school gaming, because I think that The Walking Dead brings people together, and I also think old school gaming brings people together. Before I got into Walking Dead, I was doing Walking Dead videos of Walking Dead Road to Survival. And I liked the game so much that people said, you should start watching The Walking Dead and start talking about The Walking Dead. And I immediately went out and binge watched it, and that was probably season 6. And, of course, the rest is history, right? We've been talking about it ever since. But it's funny how it started out with a video game and it turned into a lot of live streams. So if you guys get a chance, game with us, play trivia with us, hang out with us, and we'll keep this experiment going as long as we possibly can. We've been doing this for about 8 years now. I have heard rumors that the comic book readings could be coming back as well. It's so polarizing. I have so much fun with that, Maggie. Because I just goof off when I do them. I don't give a shit. I just don't care. So, but there's people that really, really get serious. Like, they get so mad. Like, I can't believe you don't drop the F word. Read it the way it's supposed to be read. And, I just kind of goof off with it. But some people really like it. Some people hate it. But I have fun with it. So, yes, I would like to get the comic book readings back and get people back into the Walking Dead universe. So I still probably have another 70 or 80 of those as well. But we do have a little bit more time now. Our game, Play Dead Live, the inventory of that has been very, very consuming for me the last couple years. We built a really neat platform, but now that we have the website, it did free up some of my creative content time. So that's why doing the streams, doing comic book reads, playing games with you guys. Like the other night, I got a chance to play the fishing game with the people that were there. It was really cool to compete. So the more games we build, the more I'll be able to compete and hang out with you guys as well. So stay tuned. If you sign up, drop your email in there, not here, but on the site. And then Kel will just send you out, not anything that we're going to spam you, but hey, thanks for signing up. If you log in, you can do this, 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 and this. And here's where you can go for the calendars. Here where you can go if you want to play the fishing game. Here's the things that you can do if you want to be involved in it. So thank you guys. Appreciate all of you guys. Do me one more favor, because I got like 1 more minute. Give me one last 999. I want to read out as many names I possibly can. And I want to thank all of you guys for being a part of our channel, our success, and hanging out with us. So it never gets old, is at the end of a stream trying to get as many of y'all into the stream as possible. Elizabeth, thank you. You've been here for a long time. Appreciate you. Maggie B, always a pleasure. Harold Evans, love you, man. Westwood Chronic, absolute blast. Love your comments. Busy B, Cookie, thank you. Great comments tonight. Our moderators, Kel, Amy, Julia, appreciate the big three there. Donnie T on the backup. Deborah, Diana, Barksdale, appreciate you. SWAT Girl. Deidre Perkins, been here for a long time too. Thank you, Deidre. Dave, appreciate you. Northside Queen, I saw you signed up as well. Good to see you. LF, Mambo number 5. Mambo 55, thank you. Appreciate you as well. Corey, thank you. I'm going to read that. Kill, I can stop at kills. You are one awesome. I'm going to stop. Mic drop. Thank you. Thank you so much, Corey. Appreciate it. Valar, thank you. Cassandra, good to see you again. The military man, have not seen you in a little while. Appreciate you. All right. Absolute. Thank you guys so much. You guys, I told you guys, word's getting back out. So I'm seeing more people in this stream than we did last week, more people last week than we did the week before. Let's do it again next Sunday, and we'll see if we have even more people back. More streams we do, people are like, oh, you're back again. So a lot of fun. All right. You guys have a great night. Enjoy your work week and hang out with us a little bit during the week. If not, then we'll see you Sunday. But one more thing. How many of y'all are at least going to try to be here Tuesday night for some Walking Dead trivia? Just try the first one. Can I get a few more commitments of some of y'all that will at least pop in, do a little bit of trivia, and all right. Okay. Now you guys know we will do it at 8:30. 8:30 Tuesday night. Trivia is back. And that is EST. So have dinner or your lunch break, and I won't play because I have to pull up the questions, and that would not be fair. But 8:30 Tuesday night, first week of the trivia circuit. If you like it, then we'll do music, movies, TV shows, whatever. All right, you guys have a great night. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.